Hey guys, my name is Matimo, and today I have some more Battlefield 3 gameplay for you guys, and I wanted to talk about improving your gameplay and also improving my gameplay, because recently I've been involved in a YouTube kind of pub star tournament, where essentially I've teamed up with 7 other fellow YouTubers, Battlefield commentators, and we're doing kind of a mini tournament, some squad rush action, and I've realized that a lot of these guys really know what they're doing, and their skill level is really high. And I'm not saying that I'm terrible, but I'm kind of average with all these great YouTubers, and especially when I go against someone like Rival X Factor, who is a phenomenal Battlefield player. He does this professionally. You know, he does tournaments, he wins tournaments, and you can definitely tell there's a skill gap difference between us. And so I wanted to sit down and start to play in some games and try to improve my gameplay overall, so that when I do get involved in these competitive matches, I'm not getting my face blown off by these players. So really what I try to do is to jump into a match and pick a weapon and then stick with that weapon. I find a lot of players will go into matches and they'll constantly switch weapons and kits. And while it's important to switch kits when you are faced with, let's say, a tank and you're playing as the assault class, once you die, switching to the engineer and quickly taking out the tank is really important for your team, and that's all good. But when you've actually taken out the tank, it's important for you to switch back to that one weapon that you were using and then sticking with it. Because I find a lot of players like to switch between guns. They think that if I just switch to another weapon, I'm going to perform better. And in some situations that is true. You're going to go on a nice streak when you do switch to a different weapon that may be good in a different situation. But for the most part, when you do that to yourself, you're not going to get comfortable with a gun, and you're never going to improve, because the recoils, the RPM, the rounds per minute is all different for each gun, and when you're constantly switching, you're never getting adjusted to one particular, and you're never improving your gun skills for that gun. So what I tried to do was pick a weapon, and in this game I'm using the M16A3, which is a really powerful gun. It's very balanced. It's what a lot of competitive players use, so I figured this would be a good place to start, and I just used it for a couple of matches. And this was one of the matches, and I figured it would be a good one to start on, which was Grand Bazaar, because later this day we were having our tournament on Grand Bazaar, so I figured this would be a good place to start, and I had a fantastic match. And one of the things I tried to do throughout the match was to not try to be as aggressive as I normally am. While that's a lot of fun, and there's a time and place for that, when you're trying to improve your skills and you're trying to play a little bit more competitively, being super and hyper aggressive is just going to get you killed a lot, and in a 4v4 match, getting killed is definitely not acceptable. So what I try to do is play a little bit more passive, not passively, but smart. So I was always peeking around corners, slow peeking, and if you're not aware of what slow peeking is, you're going to see many examples of it in this video, where it's you just strafe away from the corner of a building, check a couple line of sights, and then strafe back, and then do that a couple of times until you know that there's no one around, or you feel comfortable that you can push up and then get into another position. And so you're going to see that, like I said, in multiple times throughout this video. Another thing I really tried to do in this match was to burst fire a lot more frequently and more systematically, if that kind of makes sense. So every time I went for a shot, I would go for a 5-round burst, usually medium-long range, that's acceptable, and only up close would I go for the full auto and drop the hammer on a player. And this I found to be really beneficial to keeping my accuracy and keeping my iron sights on a target. In the past, and for some reason recently, I've been going full auto even at medium range, and my scores and just my accuracy in general has been really poor. So I wanted to get my burst fire down and my accuracy down, and one of the best ways to do that, like I said, is just to go burst fire. Another thing I would recommend doing is going to the website that I'm going to post down below and seeing where the recoil of each gun is going to head. So in this video, like I said, I'm using the M16A3, and it has a tendency to go up and slightly to the right. So when I'm burst firing, I'm going to drag my mouse or the weapon slightly to the left and down when I'm firing, and it's going to increase my accuracy, and that's what really helped in this match. So really what I tried to do in this match, like I said, was to peek around corners, play smart and not just bum rush my enemies, but also try to burst fire and understanding the recoil of a gun. And I found this really helped my playing experience and just my score and my enjoyment of the game, because this was just a different way of playing, and I really enjoyed it. So So yeah, I would highly recommend trying out these little maneuvers or these techniques and just sticking to them for an entire match and seeing how, or a couple of matches, and seeing how that's going to improve your gameplay. Me personally, it really helped. Later that day, we had the Pubstar tournament and we were on Grand Bazaar, and I did fantastic. My accuracy was spot on. I even got a couple of triple sprays. It was a blast. And those videos will be up tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, so this about wraps up the video, guys. I do hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, I would appreciate it if you give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel for more videos. But until next time, guys, have a good one, and take it easy.